Self in the prosaic day-to-day. Fascinating.
The Incredibles 3? Where do we even begin? If we had to sum it up in one word, we'd say it's shaping up to be another incredible animated movie. The director is back, and Pixar's boss has shared some exciting teasers about the film, like how it's all about passion versus opportunity. Plus, we've got an awesome update from Pixar's VP about the writing, and it sounds like things are really heating up. So let's dive into everything we know so far about this movie. It was officially confirmed at D23 in August, and it's going to be the follow-up to the $1.2 billion sequel, which took a whopping 14 years to make. Brad Bird is back as the director, and while we don't know the full cast yet, we can expect Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Elastigirl, and Samuel L. Jackson to return, with new actors possibly joining for the younger characters like Violet, Dash, and Jack. At Disney's D23 Brazil event, Pixar's VP Jonas Rivera dropped an exciting update. Not only is the movie in development, but the screenwriters are already working on the script. Rivera was pretty excited to share the news, but kept a lot of details under wraps for now. He said, "They're back. Jack is back. Everybody is back in an all-new adventure. We're just now starting to write the script, and it's so cool. I'm dying to show you more, but we'll do that later." Even though the script's in progress, it doesn't give a clear release date yet. Looking at the timeline for Incredibles 2, which started scripting in April 2015 and hit theaters in June 2018, we can expect Incredibles 3 around late 2027 or early 2028. Pixar has a gap in its schedule, especially after the release of Toy Story 5 in 2026, so there's plenty of time to perfect the movie. It's still early in the development stages, but the script news is a good sign. Pixar is taking its time, especially after a few recent setbacks like the underwhelming performance of Lightyear, so there's no rush to get this movie out the door. Fans should be patient. Incredibles 3 will be worth the wait. In addition to the previous updates, Incredibles 3 just got another exciting tease, this time from the Pixar's chief creative officer, Pete Docter. The third movie in the Incredibles franchise was officially confirmed at D23 Expo in August, with Brad Bird returning as the director. Bird, who wrote and directed the first two films, is already hard at work on developing the story. Both of the previous Incredibles films were massive successes, with the first movie even winning the Best Animated Feature Oscar. In a recent interview with Fandango at D23, Pete Docter shared some thoughts on Bird's return, praising him as an incredible collaborator who brings immense passion to everything he does. He mentioned that Bird tends to take his time to build up that creative spark, but once it's there, it's clear to see how powerful his vision is. Docter pointed out that in films like Ratatouille, Bird tackles deeper themes beyond the surface-level fun, such as exploring the balance between passion and opportunity. Bird's films are always filled with deeper social ideas, which is a big part of what makes them stand out. Although the storyline for Incredibles 3 is still under wraps, it's reassuring to know that Bird is back to guide the franchise. While other Pixar sequels like Toy Story 5 will have different directors, with Andrew Stanton taking over from Josh Cooley, it's clear that Bird is the only one who can truly bring the Incredibles characters back to life in the way they deserve. His unique style and ability to blend genres make him the perfect fit for this movie, and his deep respect for animation as an art form ensures that the movie will be something special. Though audiences may have to wait a bit longer for Incredibles 3, as Bird is currently working on Raygun for Netflix and Skydance Animation, it's good to know that he's taking the time he needs to get the story right. After all, his past successes speak for themselves, and it's clear that Bird is dedicated to delivering something amazing for fans. Now let's dive into how Incredibles 2 sets the stage for Incredibles 3. While The Incredibles gave a big hint toward a potential sequel, Incredibles 2 ends on a more definitive note, but one that definitely leaves room for future adventures. The first sequel picks up the story of superheroes being forced into hiding and flips it by focusing on the effort to legitimize them once again. The main plot of Incredibles 2 revolves around getting the supers recognized by society, and by the end, the family's efforts pay off, with superheroes finally being legalized and acknowledged for their positive impact on the world. This change removes a key backdrop from the original movie, where the Parr family had to operate in secret, but it opens up a whole new status quo for future sequels. By the end, the Parrs are back together, fighting villains in the open, which gives the franchise a fresh starting point. It's not an overt setup for Incredibles 3, but it certainly lays the foundation for a sequel with fewer restrictions on the characters and their adventures. One key setup that could carry into Incredibles 3 is the after-credits tease involving the Underminer. While the Underminer only played a small part in the opening sequence of Incredibles 2, his survival and ongoing threat could be a great way to build the story for the next film. With the Underminer still out there, it opens up plenty of potential for Incredibles 3 to explore a more villain-driven storyline, while also building on the new dynamic of the supers being recognized and free to fight crime in the open. Additionally, we think Incredibles 3 could really benefit from a time jump. While jumping straight into the action with the Parr family in Incredibles 2 worked well, it also limited the story's potential. With Dash and Violet written as adolescents, it was easier to pick up where things left off, but it also meant their character arcs didn't have much room to grow. Moving the characters forward a few years would allow for natural development, setting up a fresh narrative. For example, having one of the kids leave home and figure out their own way would feel like a natural progression for a story about family. On the other hand, what truly makes The Incredibles special is the superhero element. Brad Bird made a conscious choice to avoid following trends in the superhero genre when making Incredibles 2, sticking to the world he created in 2004. While this kept the sequel from feeling like it was chasing popular trends, it also meant that one of the original movie's core qualities, being a kind of genre deconstruction like Watchmen, was lost. By the time Incredibles 3 comes around, the superhero genre will be nearly 2 decades past The Incredibles, and with how much the genre has evolved, especially with shared universes and shifting tones, it would be hard not to explore those developments in the third film. Incredibles 3 has the potential to push the boundaries of what we've seen in previous films. By introducing a time jump, allowing the characters to mature, and embracing the evolving superhero genre, the movie could bring a fresh perspective to a beloved franchise while still keeping the heart and soul of the Parr family intact. Fans will be excited to see how Brad Bird and Pixar decide to balance the family-centric stories with the grand superhero action, and whether they take the opportunity to deconstruct the genre once again, just like the original. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget, we always welcome your suggestions for future videos, so drop them in the comments below.